American Government Lesson 2: Historical Documents and the Constitution. Our lesson objectives are: identify and describe the historical documents that served as the foundation of the Constitution, explain the history and purpose of the Articles of Confederation, identify, describe, and discuss the history and content of the Federalist Papers. The Articles of Confederation represent the first constitutional agreement made between the American states. As a result of the American Revolution, there was a need for unity. The powers of the Continental Congress and states needed clarification, so John Dickinson was assigned to write a federal constitution. The Articles of Confederation was submitted to the Second Continental Congress on July 12, 1776. Because of the fear that resulted from the colonial experience under the centralized government of Great Britain, the committee had been careful to give the states as much independence as possible, while also explicitly stating the limited functions of the federal government. Yet several years would pass and many revisions would occur before the Articles were finally adopted. The delay was the result of such factors of preoccupation with the Revolutionary War and disagreements among the 13 states. These disagreements were over such things as boundary lines, the conflicting decisions reached by the courts of the different states. The smaller states wanted equal representation in Congress with the larger states. The states that had larger populations did not want to pay an extensive amount of money to the federal government if taxation was based upon population. There was also wide disagreement over who would control the Western territories. The states that did not have frontier borders wanted the government to control the sale of these lands so that all states would benefit. States with frontier borders, conversely, wanted to control as much of the territory land as they could in the hopes of expanding their borders or reaping a profit from its sale. After discussion and compromise, the Articles of Confederation were adopted by the Congress on November 15, 1777. The Articles were comprised of a preamble and 13 articles. The document maintained the aspect of voting done by states, and taxes were based upon the value of buildings and land and not by a state's population. The Articles also specified that no state could be deprived of territory for the benefit of the country, and that all 13 states had to agree to any amendment of the federal government's power. The Articles of Confederation became the ruling document in the new nation after they were ratified by the last of the 13 American states, Maryland, in 1781. The Articles created a nation that was a league of friendship and perpetual union. The state governments retained most of the power under this framework, with a subordinate position given to the central government. The central government commanded little respect and was not able to accomplish much because it had little jurisdiction over states or individuals. The following are the major challenges to governing through the Articles of Confederation. Congress, the central government, was made up of delegates chosen by the states and would conduct foreign affairs, make treaties, declare war, maintain an army and a navy, coin money, and establish post offices. However, measures passed by Congress had to be approved by 9 of the 13 states. Congress was severely limited in its powers. It could not raise money by collecting taxes. It had no control over foreign commerce. It could pass laws but could not force the states to comply with them. Thus, the government was dependent on the willingness of the various states to carry out its measures, and often the states refused to cooperate. The Articles were virtually impossible to amend, so problems could not be corrected. In the words of George Washington, the government created by the Articles of Confederation was little more than the shadow without the substance. As the need for a stronger federal government began to be realized, leaders from throughout the states got together to decide how to create it. The Federal Constitutional Convention of 1787 was responsible for drafting the Constitution of the United States, the document which took the place of the Articles of Confederation in 1789. The Federalist Papers. The Federalist Papers were a series of 85 essays written by famous American leaders, including Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and James Madison. They used the pen named Publius. These essays encouraged New York delegates to ratify the Constitution. Later, these essays were bound in a volume titled Federalist, and so they came to be known as the Federalist Papers. Although there is doubt about the influence the essays played in the ratification of the Constitution, they are important documents in the American collection. What next? Take the time to go back and review the lesson on your own. After your review, complete the lesson review for the lesson and submit for grading. Remember, your submission should follow all the rules for standard written English. All submissions must be written in your own words and sources used cited at the end. How to cite sources in APA format. When you reference a source within an APA-style paper, whether it is using a direct quote, repurposing an image, or simply referring to an idea or theory, you should insert an in-text citation. The author's surname and the date of publication within parentheses straight after a direct quote. CitationMachine.net will assist you in creating citations.